Welcome back to the show, everybody. It is Wednesday. We are live every Wednesday night. Even with hurricanes floating around, we thought that wasn't going to happen for a little while. But luckily for us, unfortunately for others, it took another slight path. So I just want to first start off with thoughts, prayers for everybody that's in the path of the eye when it struck there up what some people refer to as the Big Bend of Florida when it went through there. So just, everybody that's inundated with the flood water, tree damage. I follow Mike's weather page, spaghettimodels.com. It's one of the things I follow especially during storm season. And he was up there storm chasing. And while he was there, where the eye was coming up, trees were snapping. He was looking at just roofs blown off buildings, trees falling everywhere. So just thoughts and prayers for everybody that's affected. And same way with brothers and sisters up there in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina that are in the path right now of this storm. So everybody, hope you stay safe. Like I said, really appreciate, like I said, and we thought we were going to have to cancel, but we were able, it spared us. So hopefully Chris lost his internet. I'm not sure. I think the quarter machine broke, so he's trying to get that figured out. So, his cable company's out there. I don't want to put them on blast. I already kind of said their name, but they're so maybe that'll help. They're on their way to fix it. See, they're responding. So we've got a pretty cool show. We got the Caffeinated Cryptid podcast host Bobby Dizzle on here, and we're going to have him. We're going to be talking kind of a little bit everything from just some of the current sightings that have been happening out there in the cryptid world, what's going on with his show. We'll probably toss on, some of the stuff that's been going out, current events wise, but we're basically just going to have kind of a free for all just talk. So throw your questions out there, sit back, and, want more information, you go to bobbydizzle.com. You'll see that in the name on the screen. He's got that just right there. You can't miss it. And as always, we have a sir. We have our knight in the show. Sir Brian Bowden is in the house. If you watch, every now and then he throws an Easter egg like he did last show when you saw the stretch that came into the reveal as he came down. He denies it, but there are subtle hints every now and then. It's just like the little show. Just watch the Easter eggs. The hints are there. So the truth is out there, folks, and we'll get into that next. Welcome to the Three Beards Podcast. My name is Craig, along with Austin and Chris.
Passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century.
Let me out.
I'm afraid that is right. Justice and honor in Massachusetts colony?
And he's got a doll.
This is King Candy. He's not a doll. He's not a doll. He's real. King Candy. He just wanted to take part in this. And
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with your name, like with StreamYard. It's really weird. It's like I was looking at that. It's like, why is it? There's no way to zoom in and out, so I'm not sure what's going on.
That's pretty bizarre. But it's let me tell you something. We were doing another show, and I was using StreamYard, and basically what happened was that it just you couldn't put in anything to it. You had to you couldn't comment, and then that stopped, and now that's back, and this is all messed up. But I don't even know how to edit that at this point. So I'd leave and have to come back.
Yeah, here I'll do something real quick and see if it fixes it.
Come back.
Sometimes.
By the way, I texted that man right there days before. I said, "This is a storm you got to watch out for." And he kind of gave me a little bit of a hard time.
Which guy?
Right. You.
Well, yeah, it's like you were saying for that, and I was like, yeah, we'll see. I'm like, and it spared us. I mean, we got a little bit of rain. First, before we get too much further,
I'm gonna pop back in.
Is that what you're gonna do? Okay.
Yep.
See if that fixes it. While he's doing that, real quick. Comes the thing. Ert Radio, proud sponsor of the program. Go to Mixlr.com and like Ert Radio, follow them. That way you can listen to shows like ours, Into the Outer Realms, which I moonlight on. And then we'll see if it fixes it here. He might be back. No, it's still doing it. It's kind of weird. So yeah, everybody, courtesy of Ron, proud sponsor of the show. Set up your account like that. He's got he's got several different shows that are on there. Into the Outer Realms, ourselves, which we're rebroadcast every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Not sure why he's not fixing it, but he is Sir Brian M. Bowden, the Knights Templar. The man who guards the checkerboard in the Masonic temple.
Yeah. Nope, that's not me.
He's the one that moves the castle over when the king needs to swap places.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
Yes. That's what most people don't know is when you go in there, you have to say, I'm going to take you have to say your chess move. That's what the secret is. Everybody thinks it's like some handshake. No, you just got to know your chess pieces. You just got to go up there. Yeah, the old guy with the apron with the sword, you just walk up and smack him and you're like, I just took your bishop. Ow. And then all of a sudden you're in.
So Ron, since you're here, I have a fuck button. So,
there we go. So guys, if that's not a plug for you, Ron. Ert Radio, proud sponsor of that. All right. So enough of this banter. Let's bring on the man that's supposed to be on the show anyway.
Maybe this will change it.
Nope. Bobby Dizzle, man from the Caffeinated Cryptid podcast.
What's up, Bobby?
So how are you, sir?
Back here rolling. I'm rolling at this. The fuck button. I wasn't ready for the fuck button.
Sorry, but
I'm trying to have a serious show here.
Nobody suspects the button.
Nope. Fuck. Kind of like the bullshit button that you throw across the room. The bullshit challenge flag. Bullshit.
Oh yeah. Yes. Well, we need something because he's got his little soundboard there. You almost need like that little kid. That does that bullshit. Yeah, you almost need that one for
bullshit.
Yeah, that's
bullshit. Nana, Chris is in prison now. No, he has internet problems.
Yeah. Where's Chris and his pretty beard? See, that was the thing. I was going to give him a hard time. He went to the barber, and I'm like, the first thing he's showing his video and he's doing this thing. I'm like, why is the beard uneven? You just went to the barber.
He looks like Jack Sparrow with the beard. Like he should have beads put into that thing, like Lou Albano.
Yeah, I was gonna give him a hard time. I was like, man. I said, hair. He's got his hair like, he changes his hairstyles all the time, so he's trying to find the one I say that's his midlife crisis. He's just trying to figure out the hairstyle he wants to rock.
Tonight I can be the third beard.
Yeah, he's 38 now, so he's getting up there. He's trying to figure out the hairstyle that he wants to do.
I always wanted that Viking thing where they braid the beard, and I had it going for a bit, and then the Rangers lost it, and then I just shaved everything. So
got a few people that are, like I said,
there's a Freemason in the chat right now.
Yeah, he's that's one. I believe that's Chris. He's going to be coming in there.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully, yeah. 40 is, he's approaching 40. So like I said, he's getting there.
I turned 43 weeks ago. That's kind of scary.
I'm going to be 48 in October. So
40 is the new 20.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm 40. I feel like I'm better in shape because I take my health seriously now, like I did when I was 40 or 20.
Well, I think a lot of people really for that thing, when everybody's like, no, I feel like you see what your parents were talking about as we were growing up, how they'd always tell you, it's like in their mind, they don't feel old. They'd always like, I still feel like I'm in college. Wait, I still do. Mentally, I still feel like I'm right there. I'm like that
Try to leave
mid
that
20s
box.
range. Yeah, I don't feel. It's just the only thing that feels different is when I get up and all of a sudden I'm like, things are cracking and creaking, and I'm like, it shouldn't be that much pain to get out. Oh God, why was hurt to bend over like that?
Here's how you know you're getting older. When you're talking to your buddies call you up, and normally you're like, dude, I saw this really attractive, like hot woman, blah, blah, blah. It went from that conversation does it burn when you pee? Like
One word, sciatica.
Sciatica. Yeah.
Sciatica's my life right now.
I got gout right now.
My foot will just go numb. Said, nope, we're not playing today.
Yeah, there's a
kidney
great
stones.
thing I use is that's terrible. It's a TENS unit, and I'll mess you like the one I use. I'm pretty versed in TENS units. This thing is awesome. It's about that big, and it runs on 2 AAA batteries. And it'll get rid of all that stuff. It's great. TENS.
That'd be neat because I got full range of motion, but my foot's numb. So it
yeah,
scares the shit out of me.
Help. The way TENS units work is they kind of like massage your leg a little bit. Don't put it on the winky though; it's gonna hurt.
Hey, everybody's tried it once. How do you know that?
You'll make that mistake, and you rub that icy hot a little too close to the nether region there, and all of a sudden it's gonna. You might as well have just teabagged a fire ant hill.
Yep.
it's not gonna feel pretty.
Cryptids, folks. By the way, there's no nuns talking about their OnlyFans page tonight. I just didn't know what we were going to do today. Sorry.
The nuns have like an Only Prayers page?
OnlyFans page for charity.
And this is Medical Talk with the Three Beards podcast. Yes, I'm diabetic. Yeah, I have type 2. It's because I was fat and I ate a lifetime supply of sugar in a third of that lifespan. So because of that, yes. And I'm trying to lose weight, trying to rectify that.
Okay, I'm going to throw a plug in from a guest I had named Verge, Andre Verge. He wrote a book about Bigfoots. So you may want to get him on as well, Bobby.
What's the name? Andre Verge?
Andre Verge. And he had Bigfoot living on his property to the point where he'd go outside and he'd breathe on his neck. That's how close it was. He's Native American. He has this tea that they sell. You can buy it online. It's called Teagot, Teagot. And it will get rid of your diabetes. And they're testing it in almost every lab around the world, trying to figure out how it works.
Yeah, we're getting right to the.
I am not diabetic.
No, I know that.
Lazy.
You got
lazy
that?
And fat.
No, he was answering a question.
Yeah,
from
he has
Joanne.
other teas as well.
Yeah,
and I don't get anything from it, but anytime I can help somebody out, that's how I'm going to roll.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
To people our age, to men of a certain age, having that kind of supplement, tip is life changing. Like, God, have you tried hibiscus? Have you tried hibiscus powder, bro?
Yeah, you tried those mushrooms? I'm like, yeah.
Well, she's going to get a little suspicious there when you keep going like, "Ooh, I really like that nail polish. Let me take some photos."
Put it on your foot. Hold still.
I literally
Stick
just
it in
had
this light box.
My follow-up, whatever. They did PSA, blood work, and the doctor was like, started talking to me about painting and art and music, making music. We talked for an hour and a half. He goes, "Oh, by the way, your levels are fine." I'm like, "Okay, thanks, doc." So, flamethrower. I thought it was sort of flamethrower.
Yeah.
Hey, Joanne.
Yeah, oh man, yeah. No, so let's. What do we want to delve into first?
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Well, we're kind of like a little bit of everything. I mean, obviously the names, but so what is? I'll get your guys' thing because you guys are more. Everybody that listens to us knows, but you may not know as much. I typically refer to myself as a hybrid between Mulder and Scully. I'm, from the X-Files because I really believe in the things that are out there. Like I believe there's Bigfoot. I believe, UFO. I believe these things right here, but I am steadfast in you eliminate the things that it isn't first, and then you go, because I'm never going to be like Department of Transportation in Washington just has this thing, and oh my God, I'm going to start blasting off like we just now have ultimate proof of Bigfoot. Everybody must check this out. I'm like, I know. I want to figure out this is first, then go that route. So that's me. So that with that little caveat, what is your guys' take on the latest one? I think it happened just I want to say it's a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, that Bigfoot sighting. Did you guys hear about that one?
Which one?
Probably.
Well, it was one that they refer to it as the best footage of Bigfoot that's been captured since the Patterson film.
Looking up now.
I
get sent tons of stuff and all these.
Yeah, I gotta try to find it. I figured you guys would know right off the top of your.
So I have Dogman reports coming out of PA. I've got a couple Bigfoots out of PA. Got Dogman in Florida, Fort Pierce, and Orlando, by the way. 2 Dogman encounters. I have Bigfoot sightings in Georgia, North Carolina. I mean, there's so many of them. Give me a location, because I know That's what
I'm trying to get. I just popped in my head, and then it was.
I guarantee you I've seen it. I just don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
because I get spammed like stuff 25/8.
Yeah, because I know these ones. They just can't. A lot of these ones, like I said, they've just talked about it, and some of these people are saying, like footage that's resurfaced. Let's see if I can.
Is this like a TikTok Bigfoot?
I'm waiting for foot with tape on it.
Yeah.
Tired. I'm not falling for that shit no more. Bigfoot caught on tape. Just somebody's fat ass foot with tape on it.
I love that. All right, let's see if I could bring it up here real quick. So I'm waiting for the ad to finish here.
Come on.
I know. It's one of those where you gotta wait and you gotta wait.
It's Google Fi, isn't it?
I don't want to pay money for Google.
There we go.
Oh yeah. That's the one from the swamp in Louisiana.
Video.
Yeah, where she's tearing the tree up.
This is Louisiana.
I think it's called something swamp monster, I believe.
Oh yeah.
He's tearing a cypress stump up.
I'll start it over here.
It's about 6 years old.
Yeah, it was like the one that a lot of them are saying it resurfaced. So I've heard things from. It could be somebody's private exotic collection, and it's a larger primate that it's escaped.
You can have
and that's what you're seeing. There's always that one, like, this is somebody in a costume, and that's why, you could be that close and it never turns around.
I've seen this before, but I also
tons of times. What is it?
Didn't put too much effort into it, because here's where it gets really strange. So, primates and gorillas that are still living in the woods, West Virginia, Appalachian Trail. Some people, they've come off of a lab experiment type of thing. And there's a couple of videos that came out, and it's clearly a gorilla, not a chimpanzee like King Candy.
That's right.
Yeah. All hail King Candy.
And that's one of the things, like King said, it's like, man, it looks great. That's part of the thing, like what I always do. Because on surface, it can be really easy to go like, oh my God, we have proof. This is Bigfoot. But it comes down to the same thing, where these are not domestic, creatures, like Bigfoot. They're not going to let you it's not like Harry and the Hendersons.
Right.
Where you just walk up and you're like, hey, it's like, "Rrr," and you just keep on walking down the path. This is something where a wild animal, for anybody that's going in the woods, even if the twig was snapped, that head should be swiveling around, paying attention to what's coming behind it. And it never moves.
Like Cisco said, it's good footage.
And then all of a sudden, the camera's got to take off running like it just scared him, because
there's a lot of
heaven forbid he holds still and gets the best footage of history.
Heaven forbid somebody uses like a.
This is like how Chris shoots footage when he wants you to see like what his son does on the football field.
Overthrow. I mean, it's something, but for me, it looks more gorilla based than actual Bigfoot, and it's not unheard of It's not something you expect, I got to be honest, but there are gorillas in the woods. There are.
Yeah, well, it's not unheard of too, especially like down here in Florida. That's one of the reasons why we have such a huge problem with pythons.
Yeah.
Up in Ocala, where you were just at, there's a ton of monkeys running around there.
I was going to say, Craig lives in Florida. He should know about the wild monkeys.
Yeah, and that was the thing. These are ones that escaped out of people's private collections through storms, or they broke free, and so now they're an invasive species. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of some drug lord type thing that had a house somewhere in Florida or Mississippi or something that has a home, had this private exotic animal collection, and it escaped. I mean, you could easily see how you could go out and have a gorilla. I mean, I think if there's a gorilla out there, eventually somebody would come and encounter with it, and there would be reports of this massive beast.
Maybe not a toddler,
because they're aggressive. Yeah.
No, you know what? Let's look at the mountain gorillas. They know where to go. They can climb up higher. They don't need any interactions. If they have, most of them have a memory of what they've been through, even as young, babies. And if they had a bad interaction with humans, they're going to stay the hell away from the human for the most part. I would, yeah.
Oh yeah, King, they'll attack you. Like if you're floating down there, they'll start throwing stuff at you in the water.
22 rifle to you.
Yeah, I think even some people got some videos of them like falling out of the trees and landing in the water, as you're floating down there.
I wasn't paying as much attention as I'd like to have. What season of the year was that taken in, that video? Because I think it is in Louisiana swamp, I think. And I was just wondering, like, if it was like a mountain gorilla, if in the wintertime in the South is too cold for one, I would think. Because they live in the freaking Congo.
They do, but the mountain there's snow in the Congo. It's up high in mountains, and
well, there's that.
They can venture into it, but I go with that whole Darwinist. Sometimes these creatures adapt.
Oh yeah, well, it's not. I'm not saying they couldn't.
I'm looking right now to see what they have, but it's. If there's one thing that we've come to know, that the Hindustan Times is a beacon of journalism.
Yes, it is.
I know there used to be a mountain gorilla in St. Louis.
Really?
Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're I'm trying to look and see if they have a date on when this was.
And then it was like 2017. Like no shit.
Yeah, it's back then in the teens.
Yeah, because they said that this one was they had said that this is resurfaced and going viral again, but yeah, they don't.
This is the problem with everything. Like all that.
The person who filmed it is dead. So,
of course, the Tic Tac video and the Nimitz video, I saw that years prior to it being.
That was from 04.
Huge. I'm like, okay, big deal. They're making. It's just like. I just don't understand it. There's this movie. It's about this guy who's good, and then his father becomes evil, and they fight with these light sticks. It's the most credible movie ever. It's like bringing out like Star Wars, and you're like, it's Star Wars.
Well, see, that's like you said, Cisco. And that's one of the things I've heard, like where they claim it's like they have this ability, like extraordinary sense to, sense when things are approaching. That's the thing from the video. That's always these videos that strike out to me. Is that when you see this movement, anything from all the time I've been as a hunter and all this stuff, anything that's a wild, non-domesticated animal is going to turn and try to figure out where noise is coming from first. It's like all these animals, they have that sense, through smell. I mean, with elk, they hear. I mean, if they even catch a whiff of you, you just hear the crash in the woods, and boom, they're gone. If you sneak up on them. Every animal instinctively does this. They whip their head, they look to see what it is, and if it's then that fight or flight thing comes in, and they either take off or, hunker down for it. And some of these videos, the reported thing on there never happens. I mean, that's why I said that one. I mean, I'm almost convinced that it's somebody just sitting there in a costume, because it's just weird ripping bark or something off a tree and just chucking it out into the water and never turning.
Maybe it's a discarded inbred child that has reached
Yeah. So I did some digging, and
It's a Mowgli. Is that what you're saying?
This is on the same latitudinal line as I am. This took place at roughly. It said it's a few miles west of Tunica, Mississippi, which I'm kind of latitudinal on the same line with Tunica. So it'd be right there in the Mississippi River Delta.
Don't get me wrong. There's some weird shit that comes out of Louisiana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing is like most of the time, even like here, like where we're at, it gets cold, but it's never like brutal, like north cold. I mean, it's like we'll get like 30s, but that's not something. I mean, that's pretty something you can find enough shelter to keep warm until.
Well, it'll get down to 0 up here.
Yeah,
North Alabama.
You do have. See, this is where it gets very interesting. We have such a large or vast caving system throughout this entire country.
Yep.
And these creatures aren't afraid to go in them. And they'll find that spot, and they'll once you start going deeper and deeper into Earth, which we can get, it gets warmer. It gets tremendously warmer. So it's plausible. I understand the other aspect of it. It's like, Cisco's seen a couple of these things, Bigfoot's face to face. But it's, I don't know. I mean, I understand what you're saying, Craig. It's just, maybe it is like, some slow boy they put a gorilla costume on and said, Ronnie, go over there in the woods and play with some trees, and he's just,
Isn't that the plot of Not Shyamalan's The Village?
Yeah, that was one of the better ones. Yeah.
Dude got pushed in a punji stick.
That was pretty good. Everything else is always like, like Stephen King. Everything's a freaking spider.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wiggle and jiggle and tickle inside her.
That's a whole nother movie. You downloaded the wrong Stephen King movie.
Stephen Fling.
Stephen Fling movies.
Yeah,
it's
King Candy. Stephen King Candy over here.
King Candy's great.
Yeah, so there's been some interesting ones that are coming. So yeah, I was just curious what your guys' thoughts.
Hold on, does it look familiar? Does it look just like that video?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's with today's technology, everybody is for $20 you can buy those little handheld stabilizers that you can put any cell phone on. So for anybody that's going to walk out in the woods, you're normally going to hike, I recommend $20. Buy one of those, because if you have something like that, for people like us that are wanting to see these videos, I would rather see that, and it'd be easier than the whole shaking and you're running through the woods. At least as you're running, it's going to keep it somewhat steady. Have
y'all ever heard of the frugal photographer?
I know.
Yeah,
no.
He teaches how to make things like that out of household items. I mean, you don't have to even have $5. You've already got it. Duct tape and a spoon. Hold it like that.
And it'll do that for you.
I mean, just like if you hold, on a tripod, it has that little handle on the bottom of it inside the legs. You hold that with you hold it just loosely. It's a stabilizer. I mean, it's very, very rudimentary, but it'll work the same.
Yeah,
it's making like a pendulum thing there.
I mean, with team,
there's just
get it for,
I don't know. That's the other thing with cameras. I don't want no. With all the stuff that we could come up with, how they cannot come up with something like that the human eye can register. Like the moon, we can see the moon. It's this giant orb, and then you take a photo of it, and it's this little tiny dot.
Is that a Canon or which one?
Yeah, it's a T3i. It's a cheap one. It just looks cool because I can go woo.
Yeah, I just bought the A6600 from Sony.
It's out there in the woods. Come on, Sassy, give me it. Work it.
Come on.
Work.
Give me that left turn.
Not Bigfoot.
Give me that left turn.
Act coy. Act coy.
Now cloak for me. Cloak for me, baby.
He can't turn left. I don't have blue steel. These things, iPhones.
Quit frying my hard drive.
Yeah. iPhones. I've been complaining for the longest time. Samsung can take a good video. They can do great work with the video. Be crystal clear. Even the Google, a Pixel phone, you can take night shots. Perfect. This thing has 4 cameras on it, right? Can't do shit. The only thing that's good about this is for investigations, it's got LiDAR. We use LiDAR to, do 3D imaging. Other than that, and then again, Craig, seriously, if you saw somebody there and they were holding it steady, wouldn't you think at that point, oh, this was rigged?
Well, to a point. I mean, if it was like crystal clear photography, like they set up, like we're getting ready to go Channel 9 News at 11 for an update out here in the woods with Sassy, the Sasquatch that's peeling the bark off a tree. Yeah, I would be really suspicious. It's like, and we're back. Hi, this is Bob out in the swamp, and I've got Sassy over here. Why are you tearing the bark off this tree? This is an old tree. Okay, we got no response from him. It's yeah, I would be, but the fact of that on face value, this is somebody that walked up on a creature that's doing something to a tree. And I mean, from all the shows and all stuff, do either of you guys know what the significance would be of pulling the bark off the tree and throwing it into the swamp? Is the mate out there swimming and he's like, come on, get out of the water already?
Unless he's digging for ants.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah. They go for grubs.
Maybe there's a critter in there.
Yeah. There could be a critter in there. It could be grubs. They could
be creamfield kind.
They could be pulling leaves off and then rolling a doobie, that tobacco.
Yeah. Well, we only know it's not that because he keeps throwing it into the swamp. So he's obviously not collecting.
They can make a giant blunt out of cypress bark. It's huge.
Exactly.
Looking like Cheech and Chong.
Just welcoming Virgil Kane from Manchester, England.
Virgil Kane is his name. He runs up the Danville train.
There he is. Welcome, mate.
Yes. Welcome, sir.
Does he know the significance of his name? Virgil, let's stop for a second. Do you know the significance of your name? Hopefully you just did that on purpose, but if you don't, wow.
Soup. Okay, we'll wait. We'll
I'm curious now too.
While we're waiting.
Do you think Virgil made his name on purpose, or is Virgil Kane his name? Did he ride on the Danville train? Is he from England? Surely he's never heard of that before.
Very interesting.
I don't know.
Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
And Virgil, it will be on the final.
Yeah. Craig, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't. That's what I said.
There's a song, a famous song. Virgil Kane is my name. Yeah, it's the night they drove on Dixie down.
Fanny.
Was it my wife probably would get that was she was a lot of the country music and stuff like that.
Bells are ringing.
Get it. He's singing this song right now. She gets it.
Wow.
Yeah, and he says, cool. That is your name.
That is cool. You're the coolest person I know right now.
You want to go and get an album from the band.
I'm going to stop singing right now.
Here's the second album.
Yeah, no. Mine was I grew up with a lot of stuff like Jim Croce and stuff. Dad listened to that stuff, so that was.
You don't.
I didn't listen. So I didn't listen to a whole lot of. There wasn't a lot of the old. I heard some of the old classic stuff. But not a lot of. There was until I started dating my wife. I hadn't really heard a lot of stuff from Alabama or anything like that until because that's what they listened to. So I was just that got me up to speed on that one. But yeah, I think if I probably heard it, I'd be like, oh, okay, I know that song. I just the words aren't sounding familiar.
The next county from where I grew up.
The Alabama band?
Yeah, from the next county where I grew up. It's actually the next county over from where I'm at now, but I'm just in another county adjacent. Shapes and geography,
Yeah. So you're in Mississippi?
I'm in North Alabama in Huntsville, home of Operation Paperclip.
We got another Alabama here. Cisco Lady. Liberty.
Cisco Lady's going to be on my podcast soon. She doesn't know it yet.
Awesome. That's my sister.
She doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, she got conscripted.
Cisco, you don't know this yet.
That doesn't sound like a stalker at all. You're going to be on my podcast.
That's how I get podcast guests. I'm like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? I mean, I just sang Dixie down, and she knew it too.
He did it to me. He goes, "You want to come on?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I found out. I just looked at my calendar. It's October, so
yeah, you're going to be on my podcast. I am. Hey, we sang a song together. That was an invitation and an acceptance. All right,
in some cultures, it means we're married. So yeah, you're lucky. In my country, that means we are married.
Yeah, cool. It was like, bet you know where I saw my juvenile.
Yeah.
Sassy.
Yep.
That's what I'm start calling this Sasquatch on my hat. Sassy now.
Sassy. Go for it.
It's my sassy hat.
I'm good.
I've
I'm
gotten
good
in
with that.
trouble
Yeah,
for
that's
using the word squatch with Dave Scott. He's like, he goes, what's a
yeah.
squatch?
The
And I'm
funny thing,
like,
I haven't done it yet, but I
dude.
intentionally. But my go-to whenever it's somebody like I'm referring to, it's always Bob. And so I said, since you're Bobby, that's why I haven't said it yet. Because like during that normal life thing, it's like, hi, I'm Bob here at the Swan. I'd always go to the name Bob. And so I said, since you're Bob, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it this time. I gotta.
Well, technically, that's not my real name, so you could do it. It's just what I've been called my whole life from a high school nickname. So
Yeah,
That's not
want
bad.
to go deep down inside the actor's studio. Light a cigarette. The year was 1996.
all right. We'll give it like an embarrassing thing from my childhood. We thought hey, we had the right idea. Cigarettes. They're leaves and paper, correct? Yes. So we thought, we were going to make a cigarette. So we had notebook paper and we had oak leaves. So we crushed those up and rolled those into some notebook paper and tried to smoke that. That was that memory is still burned in my mind. That was not pleasant.
Okay.
Virgil's
Have
going
you
to
ever-
ask a question, by the way.
Yes.
Go
Ask
Virgil.
away.
It's better than smoking poison sumacs.
Virgil Kane is my name.
Yeah, that's a huge bottom lip. Tell him, Bri.
Yes. No.
Laura,
She couldn't.
Laura, it did tasted terrible. I mean, it was, you basically picture like when you're trying to run away from the campfire because it's burning your eyes. Yeah, it's like you just going down there and
I can't imagine.
you're sucking that. Oh gosh, it's a
Cisco lady is from Tony. Are you from Tony?
So when Cisco was had this encounter, she literally was like as close as you kind of can be, and she connected with this creature. She literally got like a ton.
That's 10 minutes from me.
It's yeah.
I think Cisco. One of the questions too is like, kind of going back to that video that we watched. In a way, it's the creature acknowledged you. So that's one of the things that really sticks out to me in that video is that there literally does not seem to be any acknowledgement between the film, person filming the creature and the creature. It's like the creature is completely oblivious. It's got its earbuds in. It's just rocking out to John Denver, peeling bark off the tree and throwing it in the swamp. Saying that John Denver's full of shit. There's no Rocky Mountain High. There is now because you can get the marijuana there for.
It reminds you of like Chris Pratt's like opening scene on Guardians of the Galaxy, how he's like on a mission listening to something.
Yep.
Listen to that song.
Yeah, what he's doing, he's kicking those space rats, as he's sitting there going for the orb. Yeah, it's that same type of thing. I'm like, so obviously, that's, to me, that's just, those are the little things that always stick in my mind. Like that, God, there's something.
Mr. Sunshine on my goddamn shoulders, John Denver.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
I love that scene. Who won the award, Mr. Sunshine?
Yep. I haven't seen the question yet from Virgil.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the question. So
while he's doing that, so we'll start with you, Bobby. What is your favorite cryptid that is not not Bigfoot, Dogman, or something like that? Yeah, not the.
Let's talk Puckwudgie.
Yeah. Hey.
Let's go down south of the border here. The porcupine-headed little person.
The chupacabra?
No, the Puckwudgie is a.
He's the one in Massachusetts, up there in the Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah, it's there's a fellow named Robert Beto, Mexico Unexplained. Check him out. You want him on your show. He is a genius. Studies all things Central America, Mexico, South America, cryptid-wise. BITO, Mexico Unexplained. But he studies all. He's one of my good friends. We've been arguing about the legitimacy of Oliver Anthony lately, but we have a good time.
Oh,
however, the Puckwudgie is a little person about this tall, and he guards certain areas. And from what I've heard from other people, they have like porcupine-like hair, kind of like the porcupine that from the movie Sing that sings the song with the rock and roll. That's what it reminds me of when you see it. Kind of a weird little person. But in Mexico, the culture is if you want to build something like a Walmart or a church or a store, you have to honor the local Puckwudgie. And so you give out, you give an offering, which usually involves building like a little doghouse where you put offerings. And Like if you go someplace in Mexico and see a little house next to something, that's the Pukwudgie peace offering. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking that up there because I've seen the stuff like a lot of like the First Nation, counting and all that stuff especially up in the northeast. I hadn't heard about the one down in Mexico.
They're a thing in Mexico.
There's Safety Doc right there. What's up, Doc?
Welcome. So he's going to hopefully get him on here in the next couple months or so once we get him on the schedule.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I love the. Here, I think I got a kind of a cool picture of it.
You want to see?
Well, it's not. It's the. This is the one like you were saying. This is the.
Yeah,
Pukwudgie. They have a whole festival for the Pukwudgie.
Yep, and you make offerings to them. Like they'll be like, there's stories about places they tried to build an establishment that kept burning down because nobody honored the Pukwudgie.
Yeah, because
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, because we did one of our first shows back when we first started the program. We did it on the Pukwudgie. And that's actually one of my favorite ones. I just love those things where the little poison tipped arrows and the spear, and they go
remind
there.
Me of the brownies from Willow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I always think of when I think of Puck. I think that's why I like the Pukwudgie because they're like Willow.
That is a skeleton.
What is that?
Of a chupacabra.
It's like a bull shark.
No,
that's what it does look like. It looks like, just like you said that. Right as you're saying that, I was like, it almost looks like they put a skeleton from a small animal and then added the head off of like a shark or something else.
Okay. I sent this to 2 anthropologists, and they're like, I have never seen anything like this before in my life.
What is a chupacabra supposed to look like? I've seen 7 different renditions. Are they the coyote with the mange, or are they some kind of monster?
It's kind of like a little bit of a coyote meets some double road, triple road teeth, blood sucking animal.
It's a goat sucker.
Discovered by a homeowner in New Jersey. It was buried in his property. And there's nothing here that even remotely suggests it was a dog or any other type of indigenous animal for that area. So the owner,
where was this at?
This is in New Jersey. I can't give you the specific, but yeah,
that's fine. That's fine.
In my opinion, chupacabra. I had an interview set up. I was going to go down there, going to grab a little sample for DNA, and the guy freaked out because he is from down south of the border, and he doesn't want to have any problems with it. So that's it. There she goes.
The hair looks like a deer for sure, but you never know. A lot of stuff looks like a deer hair.
The Pyro-Wedgie. I don't know if
the Pyro-Wedgie.
Is that like the shaman, the witch, one of the.
I've had a super wedgie once before.
Yep. The atomic wedgie.
The atomic wedgie.
Yeah. Squatch and Holler is one of my friends. He's in here probably trying to troll me.
Yeah.
Trying to trip me up.
That's fine.
So is Kevin S. Kevin S. is a troublemaker. Look out for him.
One of the things too, like when we talked the chupacabra, that was one of the first shows we did as well. And I really think that there's a really good chance that its origin is somewhere around the Arecibo Observatory at that military facility. I think it was a lot of like a Dr. Moreau thing. I think they were experimenting on local dogs, and they created this hybrid, just basically like Dr. Moreau style animal, and it got out. And that's why one of the things I think there's so many different accounts, like how they look, is because it's not a natural selection. It's not a naturally occurring animal. And so it's going to, through its breeding, as it interacts, I mean, if it interacts with another canine, another type of species and breeds, it's going to be a thing. You're going to have 2 distinct, deviations of how this thing's going to look. And so that's where you're going to get some of these real weird deviations in appearance.
You think the genes are going to kind of water down eventually, like the Roanoke colony? They just kind of bleed out into the local population.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff appears every once in a while. You're like, why's that Labradoodle got 3 rows of teeth?
Yeah. That type of thing where it'll be something, because Yeah, you'll have some of these things. We need to do a show on the Roanoke colony. That one's pretty still fascinating how that just
drop the Roanoke bomb on you.
Roanoke. Let's go.
I was just up there a few weeks ago or a few months ago. It was pretty cool.
You find anybody?
Yeah, Virgil. Yeah, that's one of the things that we're speculating on that Mississippi one that we just showed, that there's a really good chance that one could have been like a pet, that just somebody's, not even really a pet. I mean, because there's not too many people that that keep them as you're sitting there in your easy chair petting a gorilla. They've got them in their own little like private zoo.
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Yes, yeah, Dr. Evil. It's like do not make fun of Timmy.
Rest in peace, Harambe.
Yeah. I mean, I know some people in my neighborhood when I was in New York City. They one person had a chimpanzee, the other one had those. I'm gonna say it's spider monkey. And they had them. At one point, my father even told me there was a store Cheetah from the Tarzan movies was picked up in like a store from Times Square, New York. They used to sell exotic pets all the time.
Did y'all know Jim Jones used to sell spider monkeys door to door to raise money for his cult?
No, but that's great.
That's fantastic.
He said spider monkey. Yeah. Not only did he rape all the male members of his cult and shoot a chimpanzee in the head in South America with a 45, he used to sell them door to door.
Don't listen, King Candy.
Imagine opening the door. There's Jim Jones with his Joe Biden sunglasses on, saying, "Hey, fella, you want to buy a spider monkey?" And
don't worry about
some cheap Dollar General Flavor Aid.
Kool-Aid for you.
Here's some Flavor Aid for you. It tastes watered down.
There's so many jokes I want to say, and I'm not going to.
Do it. Jim Jones is fascinating. Look, you're drinking the Kool-Aid now. There you go.
That whole thing was insane.
Bubbles the chimp? Yes, he did. Bubbles.
That's ignorant.
There's a great story.
El hee.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy goes over to Michael Jackson's house, and Bubbles got dangerous, so they locked him up. So Eddie kept going over, and Michael's like, "No, Eddie, he's crazy. No, Eddie." Eddie Murphy is a great story.
Oh my God! You just did the perfect South Park Michael Jackson right there too.
It's ignorant.
It's ignorant. That chimpanzee, that little chimpanzee, probably was a little bit bigger than Candy right here.
God Almighty.
Okay, he's holding it. That size chimpanzee could rip your arm out of its socket and take it right out.
Oh yeah.
Even King Candy agrees with me.
Remember when they were doing ghost readings on South Park and Michael Jackson was a ghost? He goes, "What's that sound?" He came through the box.
Oh my God, they do. Oh, they do. That's one of those things. People haven't done. You've got to watch. Everybody has to watch a nice steady diet. Family Guy, South Park, everything. It's just. There's so many things.
I watch South Park every night.
Even now, I mean, they still do some especially when they're making fun of all the marijuana grows, Integrity Farms.
Farms.
Yeah. Oh God. There's.
All the
I mean, you want something that's just wrong. It was the whole COVID special.
Mm-hmm.
That one where the cure was Randy Marsh, and he had to. The only way that he could cure is. Yeah, he had it. COVID came about because him and Mickey Mouse, got involved with a bat, and that's how COVID came about. And oh my God, it was that show.
Just so
hey, Roger, you have to put me in touch with the Jim Jones buddy. I gotta get this guy on a podcast.
This is one of my friends' ringer from when he calls me on my phone. I'm in the U.S. Post Office, no place to put boxes down. I have 4 boxes in my hands, and then he calls me.
What's going on? They're raping me! They're raping me! Get out of there, Kurt Russell!
This is what's going on.
Oh my God.
Stargate.
Yeah. So this is what's going on at this point. And people are just staring at you. And it gets to the point where it's like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well just had the one where he's passing the largest, largest number 2, and he's like, oh, hot, 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 oh, hot, hot, hot.
Well, his new one is the
Which would you rather I eat? Should I eat a cuttlefish and a
With the vanilla paste.
Cuttlefish and a
This is it. We're gonna get in trouble.
You're gonna get flagged.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's if this wouldn't flag us.
Oh, and
No, this is tame sometimes. No, that's
very-
yeah. Yeah, you're making you got a fan there, Brian.
yeah.
Oh my God,
You got it, Cisco. My sister. Yeah, there is a woman who had a pet chimpanzee that ripped the face off of somebody. Yep.
yeah. It was like they just came over there, and it's just oh man, that was that was pretty horrific. I mean, she just got mauled.
They're
She was on Oprah.
vicious.
And she was on Oprah.
Yeah, they have I forgot the name of the chimp. It's a chimp mountain chimp. It stands almost 6 to 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
So that cute little chimpanzee, picture it 6 to 7 feet tall. They hunt them. They used to hunt them in the jungles, and they would eat them.
The Billy apes.
I think billy apes. That's them.
They're giant chimps.
They're vicious, and they will just rip you to shreds. That's why they
They
hunt.
even tried to recruit one.
Cisco, I agree. That's what he needed to do, especially after this. Pick it up. What? I've already told you before. Just let it happen, and then hang up. Just
You insert the suppository, and it'll be fine.
you just oh God.
Pay him the money next month.
Yeah, I got that when my brothers call. My daughter just goes penis, and that's how it rings. That's their message. So.
Yeah,
Wasn't ready for that one.
terrible.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I don't even know what we're talking about.
No,
Is this podcast-
this is how we went from Puck Wedgie to we're talking about him basically embarrassing his entire family at the post office.
Yeah.
No, it's
They
just
can never
me.
go back. Got to use
You know what I'm
UPS
saying?
now.
The best part of it is I'm standing there. I've got the postal people on my right, like 10 feet away from me. These 2 old ladies in front of me, someone in the back, and I see the postal inspector in the back just crying because he's laughing his ass off.
Well, it's almost like you see those viral videos where the guys are always making the prank calls, like they're on a phone call and they got some like 2 girls in front of them. And they're like, yeah, I just, but man, I'm telling you, it burns every time I pee. And the girl's like, and they're saying something that's like, yeah, I really didn't think I could fit that many bananas in there. They're just saying some stuff, that's what it seems like. It's like, so I'm sure you had some people that were busting up there in the line.
I
Do
literally
you happen to know what you were wearing when that happened? Just to add to the
No, I was just a regular
Hot pink shirt with pineapples on it.
It wasn't anything crazy or special or whatever.
you weren't like going to a Furby convention or anything? Or
no,
furry convention?
I got interviewed by a Furby, but that's
Dressed like a fox.
Yeah. Now today, actually, I went into the Publix, or as I like to call it, Publix, to the pharmacy to pick up a pharmacy. And it's like, yes, what are you here for? I said my anal itch cream, and my wife was there. She's like, oh my God. And she just found out. Yes. I'm sorry, it's ripping the ass out of me.
It's scarring having us as spouses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even Roger from American Dad was looking through the somebody's medicine cabinet. He goes, apply the cream directly to the fissure. What the fuck?
You the balls are called whacking off of my trailer.
That's him, boys.
God damn it, Bobby.
Doing so much dadgum whacking.
I was thinking about no. I think we should just do a whole show on what is it, movie trash mouth, and we'll just show little clips here and there. Probably get them kicked off, but it would be a great show.
Oh no, it's there is you could have an entire show just playing little clips and just remark. Why do you think Mystery Science Theater 3000 was so successful? It's because you can just do those things, just ripping on. Yeah,
My dad never understood why that show was funny to me, but I would sit there and just almost hyperventilate watching it.
Okay, well, they would make some just awesome observations. I mean, you're just like, I just watched The Blob today. Yeah, I just rewatched that. You're watching, you're like, Okay, man, it's just how this lady became an actress. I have no idea. She's terrible.
Mhm.
She's terrible. I think it was Jane was her name. That when the opening scene, they're in the car, and she is just amazingly dry with with the lines, and it's one of those. No, I don't want to. And they're like, oh my God, how did this even happen?
It's just it does happen. And it's pretty freaking scary. Sometimes it's really good when you have like really
You got to cauterize that. That's what they should. Just hand you a little wood burner. Here, the doctor prescribed this. That'll clean up that little fissure.
You go higher on the testicles and just snip.
Right at the base of the gooch. That's
Like
where you got to fry it.
You gotta cut them off with the pass.
Stick your finger and to hold it. Yeah.
For anybody that just be careful if you Google that. All right, it's nothing obscene, but it's not. It's probably not the thing you want to be seeing in your Google search history.
Tucker.
Carterize the gooch.
I'm telling you, Ron's gonna kick me right off. Like, look, guys, you're great, but get rid of that.
Oh no, that's
okay. So Shane from West Coast Dogman Project asked if I was official member of the Three Beards. That's why I said ask Greg.
yes.
So I think I am.
Yep,
Yes,
he is.
I'm official.
Yeah. God, I can't even remember how long it's been now. But yeah, when Austin was having to step away, we needed to make because it wouldn't work with just having two all the time. So we kind of need to have a three beard. So we just we kind of made a list, and we went with criteria. Wasn't just I mean, the beard obviously was
It's
a pretty helpful one, but it was
get
the criteria would have been a lot of things. It was one we needed to have somebody who was versed in a lot of topics. We needed somebody that was willing to bring that where the conversation it wouldn't be strictly clinical. It wouldn't be somebody you've already got me. We don't need another Scully. It's like we needed to have that mix, that nice mixture. And it was just one of those, as we were weeding through people, we had a list, and then just kind of who was probably going to be the most available. And it looked like Brian would be. So that's why we reached out to him, and he enthusiastically said yes. And so it's been,
I was blown away by that. And if stepping away for Austin means doing gay porn, hey, whatever you want to call it.
Stepping away.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe he'd step away from this?
Yeah. You know what?
I understand that.
He's gonna want to be in here when we start the boy band. He's definitely gonna want to be involved in it.
Come for the puck wedgie, stay for the Kirk Russell rape. That's what I'm saying. That's the blurb for this show.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like the highlight. What did we learn today?
Yeah.
So if we were to digress back to the thing, so like you said, one of the obscure ones I really like, and it's right behind me, right there, is the Ghost Pants, the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Oh yeah, those are weird.
This one for my sister, plug for my sister. She made it. She made it for me.
What were those things? I mean, were they real?
This is one of those ones where even when you watch it, the Park Service, a lot of people claim that it was a wire, like somebody strung a wire and then they just ran, and the thing they just either pulled it along with a string or did something. But the one thing there's one video, and while we're talking about this, I can see if I could bring it up. The way it moves, just the apps, the thing that you'd have to go through, you'd have to have people working wires to get the feet moving, pulling it along. You would have had to have so many things working to pull this off. And from the research I did, this is almost like an overnight thing that so they would have had to set all this up, break it down. This is like those people that claim that they made those elaborate
crop circles.
Yeah, thank you. As the word was just failing me right there. You can do some of them, but there's some of these things, there's absolutely no way you can do those overnight. They're too elaborate.
And there's more than one sighting. There's actually a bunch of sightings.
Yeah, and while we're talking about this, I'll bring.
But I mean, the closest thing I would suggest is a person wearing like some kind of sheet on stilts and just walking, because the movement of it looks stilty in one or two of the, actually a lot of the videos.
Yeah, because you've got the one that's in the person's yard. That one's, for me, that one I could see somebody faking that one. Because it just has that look like it was just, but the one where it was out in, I think it was I want to say it was a state park.
Yeah,
was where it was. That one, I think I found the video for it, so I'm gonna try to get this thing here, see if I can get it without the ads here first. But that one, that's the one. It's just the way it comes from left to right across the screen. It just it would be. Is it without the realm of possibility? No, but it would be something that would be a lot more difficult to actually fake. And let's see here. I think I did this. Yeah, here I found it. All right, so here's.
It takes 15 minutes for this stuff to pop up on my goddamn screen.
Yeah, I'll give you a second here while I'm bringing it.
No, it's fine. I got you on Facebook.
All right, so everybody, so hopefully everybody could see this thing. So here it goes. Now you see those? That one in the back. We'll go back here to it. You can see the way it's moving. That's not somebody in a suit.
No, but there's newer stilts that have that angled approach to it. That it's just the weirdest freaking thing.
Yeah, because you see, they just like it. They normally are seen like are shown here. They're normally seen in pairs. Let's say like this.
Go straighter.
Do these sightings still happen, or is that just back in the day? I remember when these all popped up.
I see that's so there's a little shout out to Is It Real, that the show. I'm going to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
A compilation there. I don't know if there's been anything really like a recent sighting. These seem to be some of those one-off things like the Van Meter visitor and those. So there's a really good chance that it's something like that is a staged thing, like the giant penguin of Tampa Bay. That was that guy that had the big iron feet that he went around and made footprints. It was like he wore those iron shoes, and he would put those footprints out on the beach, and they actually found those things. I mean, obviously down the road it was found out. So is that the chance that we could figure out that, okay, yes, these were faked, but one of those things like you see in that video, from where it came from left to right through all those trees, just the apparatus that would have to be set up for them to do wire work or even stuff and nobody see, because this wasn't modern. This was, I'm looking at the date, but this was a while ago.
You said 2011, but
yeah,
I'm going to say something because I've seen it. When I was back in New York, they had a Halloween festival at the local elementary school to raise money. And these two kids that were into special effects and whatever created some ginormous looking weird cryptid. And they used stilts, high-end stilts. And they were very exaggerated moves. That always had that feel to it. Like, there's a father, son, they're on vacation from doing like Cirque du Soleil and they're just practicing or whatever, But there are other videos where there's no way these things should be where they are. Not even.
Yeah, that was Yosemite National Park is where that video I just showed.
Really?
There's been claims that there was a man in Poland says he claimed to have seen the creature. And then April 25th, 2020, there was a sighting in Billings, Montana.
Really?
Connected.
Is what the claim. But it's one of those things. It really could be like what Brian said. Is this one of those copycats where somebody does a thing, they put on the stilts like that, and they go through there and they try to recreate these things. That's one of those.
Where was it overseas?
Poland is what he claimed.
It's close to Belarus. I mean, I know people, I'm not being, kidding, but there's a lot of people from Eastern Europe that are in circuses. This is what they do, acrobatic circuses, and They will practice with this stuff.
Can you call them gypsies anymore? Not gypsies.
It's
Made a mistake to call my father or a gypsy.
Romantic-
I think it's one of
Romani-
those things. It's become like a derogatory thing, but at the same time,
Romani people?
it's also accurate because that's, when they call themselves that, I don't think it's
Unless
but
you're
it's-
Stevie Nicks, it's not a good thing to be called.
yeah, it's become kind of a real derogatory thing. Like it's almost a slur, if you just come up there. But yeah, most people,
Cisco, that's a great idea. Paranormal circus. That would be great.
is that
That's the last season of Heroes.
Yeah, well, paranormal circus
Paranormal
would
circus.
be great. And the big
Yeah.
top, we have the big guy, Bigfoot.
yeah, that was one of the things. I mean, I don't know they probably had an instance during the filming of those shows, like the Tarzan with Cheetah, but it's just one of those things you wouldn't see it because obviously that stuff would be edited out, in the filming. But it's is there possible? But yeah, I mean they had tamers, galore for those things.
Could have had more than one cheetah.
And I'm
Tamer,
pretty sure they were declawed too.
which the monkeys.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I think they probably, when PETA really got involved, in the other, especially like for cruelty to animals in films, they probably don't sedate them like they did before.
Communists.
We all saw
That was
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
that was a good movie. Did you
We
like
all
it?
saw that?
Yeah.
Oh man, those kind of movies are like a drug to me.
See,
I'm just-
we could talk a little bit about that too. There's a lot of people that they really, and Laura, hey, thanks for bringing up that video too, the Frozen Nightcrawler. Yeah, that's but that's one of those. That was one of those movies where we've talked about on the show too. Predictive programming. I think they actually told people a way to actually get things on film that they're not being able to. Is everybody is relying on what we're right here, the digital videos, where in that movie, he went back to analog, real film. Just cranking thing. There was no machine or anything. It was simply hand cranked film, and that's how he was able to capture the footage
Right.
of the alien.
And I stated that I've always stated because of the abilities of Bigfoot and to go into dimension from my experience, because I was flesh and blood at one point. Then I had an experience, and I know this thing went into dimensional. You can't go from point A to point B in a split second in 2-mile distance. These creatures, when they convert their molecular structure energy to a different form of energy, they drain batteries. They affect the outcome. That's why you have a lot of blob squatches, besides drunk people doing it and people smoking crack.
Yeah.
But the best footage will always be the Patterson film because there's no electronics involved in it.
Boom! I was about to say it. You beat me to it.
Yep.
And that's where I said with Nope. That's what I said.
That movie told you how the Patterson film was made. I screamed it when it was over. Mike's the same camera Roger Patterson used,
Yep.
or whatever.
Yeah, because he just like sat down and just like, here we go, and all of a sudden here it comes, and it was one of those. That's probably what it is the vibrations, like all the energy.
There was nothing they could manipulate in Brother Man's camera, just like Patterson footage.
Here's what's crazy about this, and it relates to the movie Nope. Just saw a study, brief video. They did 2 streams of atoms, right? And they started putting them through certain, tests. And what they did was they paid attention to it. And then when they turned away from it, wasn't being focused on. The pattern, instead of going like this, started whiting out. The pattern changed based on what you were paying attention to. So if you don't pay attention to it, it stayed like you would normally see it. The minute you walked away, they noticed the pattern was changing.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. It's you can see where splices are on old film.
Oh yeah, you definitely can see where it is.
Yeah,
but
you can see where alterations have been made.
In relationship to the study, that's proving that there's parallel universes taking place. And if you're not paying attention, what we see, our reality here is because we're focusing in on it. But what you really need to start doing, and I've been saying this for a while too, is peripheral vision, where you're looking this way, but you can see out the side. And there's things that you will see that just appear. David Weatherly's been doing a lot of this stuff. And he says, he looks in cans and reflections, and he says he sees aliens. And I think he's smoking something. Normally he's good, but I'm not buying it. But they've did scientific tests with this. So that whole nope thing is you're focused on the clouds. You're not going to see it. They're going to wait till you turn your head away, and then they'll see it. That's why a lot of Bigfoot researchers have been doing this since the beginning. Put a camera facing this way and a camera facing this way.
You got to do this. You got to put it on your back.
Yep. You got to hide it too, because they're not stupid about it.
Well, that's the thing, is that was the part that movie went through so well. It's just like, no matter how well they tried to disguise it, they had cameras everywhere. They'd always go out. There'd always be those errors. There'd always be something, the battery drains. There's always that stuff that happens. But it wasn't until they used non-powered equipment that, it can't affect it. It's because it doesn't recognize something's there. It'd be just like if it was a rock or a tree. It doesn't register that there's something, out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And the wishing well was mechanical too. The one she got the good shot with.
Yeah.
That's
in the Patterson footage.
That was a good movie. I liked it.
Wishing well or nope?
Nope.
It was
I
recommend.
recommend.
I like the concept behind it.
Yep.
You mentioned, like, I'm not a big M. Night Shyamalan guy, whatever, but The Village was very interesting. I like the concept of it. They're trying to create their own little world. When things were better, when there was religion and structure and whatever. Don't go in the woods. And then someone finds out about it, and then you're done.
It's easy enough to pull off too, because look at the Amish populations. They have ones where they're completely cut off from technology.
Well,
they don't have.
It was like a
they don't have news. So all the stuff that we've been going through the last 3 years, there's a good chance that a lot of these people have no idea that even happened. I'm
just thinking, Dallas has to pray today. Be back. I gotta check my status.
Yeah. Brother Maynard, have you prayed today?
Yeah, the Amish took another approach to COVID. They let it run through them, and they just got back to work. I follow a guy who does a lot of cattle auctions. He's an auctioneer, so he's with Amish all the time. They just let COVID happen.
Yeah. That's the way life should be.
That's how we did it too, against our will.
Well,
eventually.
No, what they used to do is like measle parties. Like, come on over, cats. Yeah. Jenny's
Box
got
parties.
measles.
Chicken
bring
box
them
when I
on
was
over.
little.
Chicken pox. Yeah. So you bring them all there. They all get sick at once. They're all having a great time, and then they all go back to life. So Ron.
Yeah, I remember that episode, Ron. The Star Trek, where they found the planet, the ruler of the planet was able to basically read minds and
that was freaky.
just steer them.
Ron, what you're describing is a wife. Next.
Yeah.
The whole fear thing is part of that.
It's an electric bill from last summer.
Jeez. Yeah,
So
there was some good
episodes
of old Star Trek and new Star Trek, but I always like Deep Space Nine. It's kind of like
stay safe out there on the fire lines, man.
Power lines, yeah. Well, I posted
fire lines. He's on fire assignment. Yeah, so it sounds like he's not swinging the axe, but he sounds like he's out there on the fire lines with the guys swinging the plas. Yeah, so that's a.
Well, I know it's really up down in Louisiana. It's really bad down there. They're pulling the same.
Keep Oregon Green Fire School up in Oregon. I help show people how to dig fire lines. I did that while I was in college. I was helping them, and here's another little story. While we were doing the little fire school, showing them how to do it and dig fire lines, the instructor set a tree on fire. It was fantastic.
Great visuals.
Yeah, so they actually had to cut the tree down before they actually started a forest fire.
Yeah.
So it's like they almost got real world training.
It was almost trial by fire, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was literally almost. You guys got real world training. Hey, you know how you guys were learning? Guess what? You're on an official fire crew right now. Start digging that line.
That's why they call it
graduated
by fire, right?
Yeah. Trial by fire.
So I'm trying to find. Well, we were talking about some of these things. The guest that we just had on, Micah Dank, he posted a picture.
It was a pain.
It was really cool
Weird.
of these plants where they would cut part of the plant off, and then when they did a scan, the entire image of the leaf would show up in the scan. So there was still a residual energy that was coming off and is showing the entire structure of the leaf.
That's like all those experiments we used to do, and I don't know if you guys did it at elementary school. Where you would have there's a residual. We're learning now that if you treat nature in kind, and you can get rid of some nature as well, but you keep it in kind, it will respect it, and there is energy that comes off it. It's residual energy. That's kind of cool though. It here's your little branch, and then all of a sudden it's showing you a huge branch of what that was.
What kind of
Brian might have some clear skies. We don't right now. We still have a lot of cloud cover from Adalia. So
yeah, my relative's been sending me pictures of that moon since we've been started. Apparently, it's a thing.
The super moon. It's one of the close ones, and so that's part of the reason why we had.
That's why the tides were crazy. I'm out. So anybody, gifts wise, if they want to send some in,
it's that blue corn moon Pocahontas is always singing about.
Here's fun things, kids. When you have kids, my oldest, when she was young, she used to watch every DVD in the car. So Pocahontas she wanted to name our youngest Pocahontas Rapunzel. Boy, was she pissed when the kid was not born that way. She would watch the DVDs, and she would like that Corn Blue Moon song. She would watch it in every language, memorize it all, and singing it in Spanish.
That's pretty cool.
Chinese, you name it. Yep.
That'd be a talent show, was to sing that song in Mandarin. I'd watch the hell out of that.
It blew me away. She watched every bit of it, and then she has movie trash mouth, and then of course I get punched because she got movie trash mouth. I'm like, well, that's not my problem. She watched Pocahontas 900 freaking times.
Yeah, I found that picture. One of the pictures that you showed here.
Mandarin Pocahontas songs.
Right there.
Ron, 2037 will be the next event, but if we make it.
I don't know if we will. Well, I mean, I take it. There's a really good chance we don't, because a lot of this stuff is set up for, it's kind of everything's following along from Agenda 2030. Everything's really following along that same timeline. Everything seems to be matching up with that time frame.
Unless you want to fight back.
So, yeah, because I mean, that's going to fall right into, with the election as well. So.
Oh, you think you're having an election?
No. I'd say everything's matching up with 2030. I mean, we're going to have this one, whether or not it's like whether everybody's going to believe the results or anything of this one, but then the following one after that, 2030.
If anything,
everything's falling on 2030.
If anything of significance is going to happen, it will happen within the next 14 days, because that's when the executive order that former President Donald J. Trump put into office, that continuity of government, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I've seen a few people worried about the test that's coming up, but I'm not too spooked with that one.
I'm not going to, I mean, you can shut your phone off. It's no problem. Matter of fact, your life would be a lot better if you let your phone go.
Oh yeah, step away. I've said that a few times. It's like, people unplug. It's amazing. It's like, go out in the woods. Just go out in the woods. Unplug.
Yeah.
What about Operation Bluebeam? You think it's coming?
Which one?
Yes.
Operation Bluebeam.
Yeah, it's.
You know what? Initially, I didn't. I did a talk on that because everybody knew about it, but I don't think they give a damn anymore. You just watched Operation Bluebeam take place, technically.
Yeah, a little bit.
The technology used, see the Bluebeam problem, right? The fake UFOs, the holograms. Like Craig and I, we're holograms. But the technology used to kill or destroy is the direct energy weapon.
Because you could easily put up Yeah, you could easily put a holograph of some craft coming into the atmosphere, and that's the airplane with that technology on it, and it could be going around, hitting stuff, and all of us are going to be like, "Holy crap! This alien craft is destroying these things right here." And here comes, we scramble the jets like Independence Day, and all of a sudden there's this battle, and all along everything is staged. You set up the crisis and you already have the solution. Everybody, martial order goes into effect. Everything, it just like I said, everything can snowball.
Cats and dogs living with each other, mass hysteria.
Yep.
Mass hysteria.
Ron,
Yeah,
you saved all these.
What did you
but
do,
it's one of those. I mean, if you go down the rabbit hole, I mean, it's everything's been lined up. Everything from MK Ultra on, everything's been being set up. All these pieces are being tried out. I mean, yeah, they shut down MK Ultra, but that only the thing called MK Ultra. All that research has kept going.
They never stop the program they're doing.
Yeah, they just changed the names.
Ever. They'll
What did
say
you
it's
do,
shut
Ray?
down, and then they'll do it. They'll do it some
Montauk, same thing. That's that research never stopped. All they did is just shut down Montauk and just moved it to another location.
What about the Mount Vernon monster? It was supposed to be a research. Mount Vernon, Virginia, Thomas Jefferson's house. There in Fort Belvoir, there was a thing called a Mount Vernon monster, and I had a guest. His name's Lynn Jackson. I'm actually supposed to be on his show now, but he's got somebody else. But he actually saw it when he was younger, and it's from Fort Belvoir in the National Capital Region. It actually threw a cop in a trash can.
Is that the one from Fairfax County?
Virginia, probably.
Yeah.
But it only appeared for just a little bit, and then it went away. And some people think it was genetic, something or other from the base there.
I mean, I've got a picture. It's not the best drawing. I mean, it's probably going to be an image for ants. Yeah,
some of the Montauk's things reminds me of that.
Well, that's one of the things. Everybody, look real closely at your screen.
Yep.
But that's the.
It's a Hitler mustache. It's just a close up.
Yeah, it's just. Oh my God! Yeah, it's so.
One.
That's one of the things that they talk about. It's like Montauk and the facility in Kentucky. Oh, if I can't remember the name of that place. That's where a lot of the basis for Stranger Things.
The one from Clarksville.
It might be. I'm trying to remember the name of the facility. It's a well-known facility in Kentucky.
I know what you're talking about. My brain's just not working right now.
Yeah,
I don't care to flex it. I think it's from Fort Campbell though.
Yeah,
just because there's when you go to Montauk, right, and you go out to where the supposed base was, it's a ton of abandoned stuff that's there, but you're just counting the surface, maybe 2-3 floors worth of levels worth. Go deeper. These bases go real deep.
Have you ever had Brian Minnick on Montauk is Strange? He's been on a bunch of documentaries. Dude's cool as shit. He's been to Montauk, sneaks in and goes down there.
Yeah, well, I know a couple people that they go deep underground.
Isn't that crazy?
It's insane. You see the guys that snuck in years ago into a power station substation in Maui.
Mm-hmm.
They found these tunnels, huge tunnel system underneath Maui.
Wasn't it the same design as the Montauk Station too?
I believe so.
I think that I think I know what you're talking about.
There's a lot of crazy crap that there's
said they kind of basically bagged and shagged the whole project. Don't tell them where it is now.
For example, so we mentioned HARP, right? HARP used to be this huge multi-acre, 100-acre plus acre facility. HARP now is no bigger than you could put it on a siren, an old school siren on a car, or one of those searchlights on a car. That could be HARP. They have them on cell towers now, and they're using them.
I think that might be a Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge, that's it. Blue Ridge. That play, yeah. I drove down the Blue Ridge Mountains. The minute I got on that thing, I heard banjos, and let me hear you say, "Scream, boy!" I was like, "No, I gotta get out of here."
Squeal like a pig.
Yeah, Snake Eaters.
That was a great movie.
Cisco said Snake Eaters.
One of the best Burt Reynolds movies there were. Fight Me.
Oh my God, that was just, yeah.
I thought that movie's so good. It has everything.
Oh yeah, is it?
Yeah.
That was
Deer hunting, and got a good soundtrack. There's a epic Ford Bronco in it. I mean, has everything.
And he's a Florida guy, Buddy Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ned
Yeah,
Beatty.
yeah. Don't forget fake palm trees and trees that are antennas. Yeah, that's a
John Voight.
That's a.
We have a couple of those fake tree ones here, and I get what they're doing. They're trying to make it, to where you don't just see these towers, these ugly towers. It looks like a, displaced pine tree that doesn't belong, but it's, it hides it. But I mean, there's always, there's some of the ones, the really weird light poles that show up along the road, where it's just a light pole with different colored street light.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of blue, and you got got these really nondescript boxes on each side, and it just pops up out of nowhere, and they just put it there.
There's Wi-Fi involved in that, and
yeah,
some other maybe microwave technology.
Yeah, one of the theories around it is that it's a scanner.
Could be anything. What are we going to do?
No,
well, there's
under the certain UV light, certain things can be seen within your body. Certain things maybe
that was introduced through nanotechnology, and that those scanners
years ago
will identify who has that tech,
mark
and
of
who
the
doesn't.
beast or who doesn't. Oh, we're gonna go so get screwed on this deal.
Yeah, that's one of those. You gotta be really crafty on how you say that stuff.
We're just gonna be saying all day long after this.
I'm just reading Ron's comment. Is it just driving around in John Voight's car?
Oh God,
that's
one thing
they're saying.
The modern generation, they get all triggered with Seinfeld.
I love Seinfeld.
Oh God, that show, it still works so well. I mean, you get some of these shows. I mean, even Monty Python. The Life of Brian thing, where he wants to be known as Loretta, and he wants to have babies. And I mean, that whole thing, I mean, here it is. I mean, decades prior to this, and it's like they made the skit from today. They're like, you want to have babies. It's like, where's the fetus going to gestate? You're going to keep it in a box?
That's how crazy this shit is. It was a comedy concept 50 years ago.
I'm going to say something that some people that are in chat.
Cisco wants a button.
Listening. Or I'll get you a button, Cisco. Some people in chat will know, and some people listening will know. Past proves future. That's what's been going on.
Oh yeah, no, it's
going on with the past. I'm waiting for Gilligan's Island to be real. That's what I'm.
No,
waiting.
But Seinfeld was. I mean, Jerry Stiller. He made his. It's amazing how much he added to those shows. Like King of Queens, that show would not have been as successful if he hadn't been on it.
You don't want me in Del Boca Vista?
Yeah.
You want a piece of me?
The bro.
Festivus for the rest of us.
That must have been some doll. Oh, she was.
As I was buying that doll for George, and I was raining
blows. On
I knew there had to be. That's where I came up with Festivus for the rest of us.
Got to be a better way.
You're really scratching where I itch. Is there any decorations? No, I find tinsel distracting. It's just an aluminum pole.
Not to distract from the conversation we have at work all day about Festivus, because I've got Seinfeld magnets all over our office. But like you were saying about the past proves future, it's basically the tulpa principle. How we just manifest the shit out of everything, and it's how it happens.
You know what? Yep. The past, first of all, entertainment's been used numerous times to get you into a mindset, so that when something does take place, you're like, oh, that's just like Logan's Run, or that's just like Running Man, and there's a lot of stuff that's just like Running Man, Sub-Zero's
it's just like you said. It's because if you think about it, it's funny as hell, but think how true the soup Nazi thing is.
Oh, that
get in line, do what you're supposed to do. If you get out of line, you get ejected.
Bread,
it's like you could.
100% real.
It's like, I bet I didn't get my bread, and Jerry's over there, forget the bread. But I didn't get, oh, you want bread? $2. What? He just got a bread. You know what? No soup for you. And she gets kicked out. And and you're like, isn't that true? What's happened in the last 3 years, that if you don't obey, you don't think like it, you're ostracized. No soup for you. Out. You can't eat at the restaurant. No soup for you.
Jambalaya.
Yeah, it's a lot of the stuff. It's just it's pretty interesting. Why did I freeze? That was weird.
The COVID vaccine.
I did it again.
It's like a chips
COVID
episode.
vaccine's a medium crab bisque.
I know. I got these weird freeze
turkey
frames
chili.
going on. I'm not sure what the hell's going on.
They're getting it. It's NSA.
No,
Well,
it's because we're talking about
we've
things
had-
we're not supposed to talk
We've had
about.
problems with with agencies, I'm sure, in the past. Because
I'm not sure the Philip experiment. I don't know about that one.
Philip experiment or the Philadelphia experiment.
I know the Philip.
Or the movie Philadelphia with Denzel Washington.
I think that's a whole different type of experiment.
That's totally different.
Featuring Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I
did not see that.
Remember when they were Stewie on Family Guy and Brian were on Weenie in the Butt in the morning on the radio?
Oh, yeah.
Baby. Goes in, and he fired him because he had AIDS. That's when it became illegal. I swear to God, Brian, I thought it was a thought.
No, she was right. Philip experiment was a 1972 parapsychology experiment conducted in
Ted Kaczynski.
Toronto.
As soon as you put Timothy Leary, then it kind of clicked in.
The Unabomber.
It was to determine whether subjects can communicate with fictionalized ghosts through expectations of a human will.
So the Unabomber is pretty spot on accurate, wouldn't we say, folks? Like,
yeah, he is definitely the definition.
Yep. They try to tell you. Mork and Mindy used to be, me too, Virgil. Well, I mean, most of the time, he was pretty good in that Mork and Mindy series, Robin Williams and all that stuff. But it wasn't until I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind that it really rocked me. Actually, that and Star Wars, roughly same year. And
yeah, Cisco, thank you for that. I said I'd never heard of that one before.
Yeah,
I knew the Unabomber was in something like that. Didn't know the name.
There's a lot of these programs. Well, Cisco has.
Well, that's been one of the
Encounters remind you of.
No, I was just when
sorry.
So Virgil was talking about Mork and Mindy, and Mork from Mork, looking like a Rob Williams, was more human based. When I saw the creatures in the cantina scene, playing the what do you call it? Rays. I mean, that resonated. That really resonated. And when they came out of the aircraft in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is, if you want a disclosure, that's the movie. That's where they disclose to the world that we have an agreement with UFOs and aliens.
Had the little big old eyes looking at you.
Yep. So, but
I'm a Star Wars nerd. Do you know the name of that group, by the way?
The Cantina Band?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Bigger and Dan and the Module Nodes.
Did you know that in Close Encounters they have J. Allen Hynek in it?
That's
I didn't know that till like a month ago.
That's why
was it actually him that was in it, or was it just a character?
Of him, depiction.
Yeah.
No, that was J. Allen Hynek. He was on the set. That was 100% him. He didn't say a word, but he was there. No, that wasn't. That was J. Allen.
See, I didn't know that either.
That's the man that was
mind blown.
Project Blue Book, and Project Blue Book, and tried to debunk it, but couldn't, and he only can prove it. And by him taking his pipe out, and they did a close up of his face.
Yeah,
just those creatures coming out. That was government disclosure, whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things they predictive programming. They slowly feed out the little stuff to where it's it's not that it's not that big of a deal if they ever do disclosure. They'll be like they want people to be kind of like right now. You have stuff coming out. It's like, oh yeah, we're pretty sure we've got craft that's not of this origin. How many people were just like, so it
right.
wasn't really that big of a deal.
They're mad because they're only making $17 an hour and don't have time
Yeah.
for it right
70
now.
years ago, you would have, like War of the Worlds, you would have had a panic. People would have been, hauling ass out of the cities, just over the news like that. They would have been freaking out.
Darth Vader came to me and said he would melt my face if I didn't take her to the death.
I didn't realize that was the real guy, man.
Yeah,
that was good. But no, it's all right. We're about that time.
Okay.
Hour and a half flies
I got
by.
y'all started. Y'all started.
Oh no, that's what I was. When we first started this podcast, it was always like, man, how are we going to do? We're like, all right, let's try like half hour, 45 minutes. And I go, now it'd be one of those things. If I let myself, I could easily go 3.
I have to stop it. I'm like, I got to pee. I'm hungry. My wife's going to divorce me. We can do 2 of these.
She was making French fries before he came on, so that's got to be absolute torture smelling that.
And when you're hungry, you're smelling that crap. You're like, God.
What she needs to do is just like stand in front of you, like where we can't see. Can't see her. She just needs to be over there, just sitting like seductively eating the French fries for you. Just completely taking your attention away.
I just got back from jiu-jitsu, so I'm ravenous.
Fry, just feeding you the fry to the corner.
You can smell them. That's why I lock my door back here.
Yeah, well.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, go to bobbydizzle.com and you can get some information. You can get all the links to social media, as well as go to Facebook, and you can find them there, right there, the Caffeinated Cryptid podcast with them, and you can find it there and watch those ones. I mean, you just had Michael Carter on.
Yeah,
had him on the show. Yeah, I've had him on the show a couple of times. And I said really like him. That's he's got some amazing stories to tell. You definitely had a few people that you've had at least that I know of. I know of at least 2 or 3 that we've had on the show before too. So it's pretty
frustrating
cool
too, because you think like maybe you'll grow because you got these amazing people and you get like 2 subs that night. Like, what are we doing? I got the History Channel over here for you, and you're doing nothing. Are you not entertained?
Yeah, that's one of those things too. It's always, you're looking at it. You got somebody on here that's absolutely just doing the most idiotic stuff, and they've got millions of views, and you're watching their chat thing, and just
I've got Brian coming up, for God's sakes.
Yes,
yeah, and you have somebody that's actually talking about something that physically, like archaeological, something that's really, it's not boring. It's not like you're talking about, well, we noticed that this rock had been moved 0.35 centimeters, and I'm not expecting like that to excite people, but it's like something like what we're talking about, these things. This seems like this would be so much more entertaining than watching somebody talk about, how, oh my God, I'm like so hot and I want to go see and do all these things at the club, and everybody's like, oh my God, I love it. They're just, I'm like, no wonder we're becoming dumb as a society. Like, it's just,
we're over.
Yeah.
We're done.
Roberto, Fight Book MMA. That was, I've had him on the show. It's one of those. I'm still trying to get. They're really into the paranormal. They did a couple shows where they actually take an MMA fighter out and do a paranormal investigation. And I was telling them what they need to do, and I don't know if they've still thought about that. It'd be such a cool thing, because one of the things that it really seems to happen from paranormal is through energy. It's like as things ramp up, those things, investigations seem to really ramp up as there's a lot of energy. So it's something you need to go find someplace like an asylum that's abandoned, set it up to where you have an MMA bout going on in part of it, and at the same time you're doing a paranormal investigation on the other side of that asylum, because you're going to have all that. You're going to have, you've got this violent activity going on here. People are fighting each other, so you're going to have all of these energies. Just it's like a buffet. So you could have these 2 things going on at the same time. And I just told him, I go, how cool would that be to see what kind of results you get?
Stir everything up. All kinds of trigger items.
Yeah, and he's like, I think about that all the time. Yeah, I'm like, if they could pull that off, I think that would just be fantastic. It's like you could have part of the team covering the fight while the rest of you are sitting there. Like you said, you got the other part of the team. I mean, you could even do it. You can do it like one of the specials where you're calling about, and then you go in. All of a sudden, like Zach, you go running in there, and just find out what you found.
Aaron, get in that room. We're gonna lock you in for an hour.
I got to go call the main event, but I want you to go sit there in that room in the dark, and I want you to be all there by yourself. And here, wrap yourself in these chains too. I don't want you to you got to be completely restrained. Okay, bye. Click.
I mean, it would be kind of cool also if somebody got jumped there and meaning jumped where a spirit took over their body, and they were like nasty, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you think you're tough? You're wrestling the big guy now." To the ring with everybody else.
Yeah, Trans-Allegheny. I mean, how cool would that be? I mean, it would have to be close to them. I think they would have to find something because they're in New Mexico. So you'd want to have something.
Trans-Allegheny, we're equal opportunity, so we don't.
Yeah, so that's. Yeah, we don't discriminate against an asylum. I mean, if they're trans, it's okay.
Trans. 2023, fellas.
Yeah, we have to be. You have to be inclusive.
Put them in the West Wing, would you?
That's right. So, all right. Well, we got to go. The man needs to call. He's starving. He needs to use the bathroom. We're holding him over. So everybody go support him there. BobbyDizzle.com. Woo! Like I said. So, all right, sir. I hope you had a fun time.
I did, and I want to do this again. This is fun.
Well, that was almost a Freudian slip. He meant to say that to his wife after he got off camera. I don't want to do this again.
Yeah. These guys are crazy. That one guy stared at
me. Boys, they're nuts.
That one guy yelled at me because I spelled his name wrong.
We just need to have movie trash mouth episode. Start throwing movie trash mouth. Great scenes. Well, everybody pick 2 or 3 scenes. You just play it and why it's great, and we'll just get banned anyhow. But why not? We can have fun doing it.
Yeah, we got a few places. So everybody go support them. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes. We have a lighthouse.
That's all right. Go enjoy the food, man. Go.
Oh, I will.
All right.
King Candy says goodnight.
Yes,
Hi, King
everybody.
Candy. All hail King Candy.
Brought to you by ERT Radio. Proud sponsor. I've got something in the works, Ron. I'll let you know here on live too. I thought it would be pretty cool. It's like kind of like our abduction thing. I'm thinking I reached out to see how much it would be for them to make it, but I want it to see a UFO on the ground, and then as it does it, then I want it to fly off, and then what you see burned into the ground.
Ooh.
And so, and then it'd be one of those.
Nickelodeon promo.
Yep, and it'd be. I even thought it'd be kind of cool, like tail, like almost like tail lights. That's the Three Beards logo on the back. Back, almost like the Millennium Falcon, where you just see the Three Beards logo on the back thing as the UFO is flying away. But yeah, I said there's a couple things, but I thought that'd be pretty cool. So I'm getting a couple quotes from some people on having that designed. So that's. So that put some of that sponsorship.
Get it done for $5 on Fiverr.
Put some of that sponsorship dollars to use on making some stuffs.
So that
I need your intro. Your intro's badass.
$5.
Yeah, so I thought that might look pretty good. So yeah. So speaking of that, I'll do the cow abduction one as the outro. So yes, Mixler.com. Go make your account. Listen to them. Help him get his listens up. He's broke, got him over 100,000, I believe. And so we got to just keep that going. So appreciate the sponsorship. Thank you for everybody for your patronage with us as well, with all the stars and subscriptions. Make sure subscribe and share. That helps us more. And when you guys are seeing the screen, just simply go there and click heart, heart, face emoji, it doesn't matter. Just click those on the screen. It doesn't seem like much.
Yeah.
But Facebook recognizes that as interactions.
And if you just type fart, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be an
just type hello. Just do something. Just do something. Yeah. It just, even if, I don't care. You guys you can just type random gibberish. Just something. Facebook recognizes that as interaction. Yep. And DA just put that fart.
Good point. Right. Yeah. There you go, Dave. Yeah.
See, right there. That's all I got to do. Yeah. ERT Radio's got a YouTube channel. Follow that as well.
Yeah.
And so
pass the class.
Subscribe to the sponsor there. So thank you guys again, everybody. Appreciate it. We're going to see you next week. We've got Richard Estep. We're going to be talking about grifters, frauds, and crooks.
Oh, Congress. Great. Okay, good.
Yeah, the stories. Yep, the stories of American corruption. So he even touches on some of my favorite group there.
A short book.
The big The big mega church pastors. And that's one of my things. Yes, it's one of those. For just the low price of half of your Social Security check, I can find you the blessings of the Lord. Just send that check in right now. But I can't afford my rent. The Lord will provide. But as long as you sign that check over to me right now, the Lord will provide for you. But the Lord already did provide for you. He has the check in my hand. That doesn't matter. Yep. The Lord has to provide through me. Yeah, so I'll have a fun one with that. So that's one of my passions. So all right, so everybody go support them. Thanks again, Bobby. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, amazing time.
All right, we'll see you on the next one here.
Yes. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Danya.